Hello guys, I'm gonna go over Unit 3 practice test. It has 20 questions for the practice, but your actual test will have, I think, 13 questions. We try to give you as many problems so that you guys can practice and be ready. So the first question is, which is I to the power of 27 in simplest form, right? Desmos can do a lot of things, but it would not do the complex numbers. But you guys remember what I stands for, right? We use I to represent a negative number, right? If I found a negative, let's say 4 in a radical, I can't have negative inside a square root, but I can write it as, this can be simplified as 2i. Okay, if you guys remember that. But in this case, they're asking you what is the exponent of I to the exponent of 7. If you look into your laptop, if you have a school issue laptop, or if you have a graphing calculator, it has the I feature in it. Like, this is where you see the I. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's an I here, and that's what we can use. If you wanted to use the TI-84, all you have to do is, if you have a school laptop, go to, find, and then go to the application. So if you go to the application part, and then you go to T, in T you'll find the TI tools. When you click on it, you should be able to see this. If you are not able to see this, just go to the school, any FCPS schools, and restart your computer. It should download the TI Smart View. I hope all of you are not. If not, then I'll show you how to do it. So I squared is always going to be -1, right? So what is I cubed? Okay, so I can find I cubed means it's going to be I squared times 1i, right? So I already know I squared is -1. So I cubed is going to give you -1i, or it's just going to be -i. So if I have I to the cube power, the answer would be I cubed would be -i, would be the answer. Okay, then I will write it up. What is I to the power of 4? It's the same thing as 2i squares, right? I have I squared times I squared. So I know I squared is going to give me -1. This is going to give me -1. So I to the power of 4 is going to give me +1, because negative times negative. So everything else after this, if you know what I square is, what I cube is, or I to the power of 4 is, every time you have an exponent, just take the exponent and divide that exponent by 4. Whatever remainder you have is to that exponent. So when I divide 27 by 4, 27 goes into 4 6 times, right? 6 times 4 is 24. The remainder is 3. So the value of I to the power of 27 is the same as this is the same as I cubed is the same as I 27, right? So I already know I cubed is -i, so my answer would be just -i. Okay, so number 2 is I to the power of 10. So what I will do is I'll take 10 divided by 4, sorry, and it goes 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Remainder is 2, right? I'm going to take the remainder. I to the power of 10 has the same value as I squared, right? So I squared is -1, right? So the answer would be -1. And that's what I'm going to pick, okay? Then the next one is I to the power of 34. So the same thing. Take 34 divided by 4. right? 4 goes into 34 goes into 4 8 times. 8 times 2 is 32. 34 divided minus 2 is 2, right? So this is I squared. So I 34 would have the same value as I squared. What did we say I squared has? We just did it here, right? I squared has negative 1. Awesome. All right, when it is like this, you know, if you have your TI-84 calculator, it's very easy. All you have to do is, I think, let me use my tool to, so I'm gonna, well, before I press, so parentheses 3 plus, so if you have your TI-84, just use that I, right? Parentheses, open parentheses, 2 plus, not 22. Sorry. 3 plus 2I, close parentheses, open parentheses, will be 2 plus 5I, I believe. That's what I have, right? Yeah, that's what I have. So I just press enter. It'll give me the answer. The answer is negative 4 plus 19I. So that's going to be the answer, right? So let's say you don't have your TI-84 calculator with you. You don't know what to do. Just do a FOIL, right? This is what we're going to do. 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. 3 times 5 is going to give me 15I, right? And then 2 times 2 is going to give me 4I, right? And then I have plus 2 times 5 is 10. And then I times I is going to give you I squared, but I squared is going to give you negative 1, right? This is going to be times negative 1. So that's what it's going to end up being. So I have 6 plus 10 is 15I plus 4I is going to give you 19 plus negative 10. Then when I combine negative 10 plus 6, oh, the I is still here, I'll get negative 4 plus 19I. Okay, so I just did FOIL. I did 3 times 2, 3 times 5, and then I did 2I times 2, which gave me 4I. 2I times 5I. So 2 times 5 is 10, but I times I, remember, I squared equals to negative 1, and that's why I have this negative 1. Okay, that's how you guys can be doing it. All right, the next one is, what are the solution of x squared minus 12x plus 16? So all you have to do for this one is Desmos. So I'm going to open Desmos, but I don't have it open somewhere, no. Okay, let me just open Desmos. Oh, I did. So I'm going to have this open up, and then this is going to be my other screen, right? So we're going to go to number 5, right? So what are the solution of x squared minus 12x plus, then let's just type it in. So I can just do x squared minus 12x plus 16. Okay, so since this is not a system of equations, this is just one equation, the solution is where it crosses the x-axis, right? So I'm going to look at this number, and that's where it crosses the x-axis, which is 1.528. But I don't know which one is going to be 1.528, right? So x is going to be 1.528, right? Let me see my mouse to right in this case. So now I'm going to try, okay, so this is the first one. So I'm going to do, it's 1.528, so I know it's going to be positive. So I'll start from the positive numbers, right? I think this is the positive. This will give you the negative number. So I'll start from C. So C would be 6 And then you have to do separate, right? You have to either do, and so these are the two solutions that I have. I have one solution here, and then the other solution is here. So 6, and they're both positive. So I'll do 6 plus 2, the square root of 5. That's 10.47. Is that what I got here? Looks like it, right? 10.47, right? And then the next number should be 6 minus. So 6, I just did that. It happened to be the right answer. 2 the square root of 5. And that gives you 1.528, which is similar to what I have here. All right, so you can easily pick the right answer. Okay, which would be C. All right, number 6, the same thing. 3x squared minus 4x minus 15 equals to 0. The same thing. Go to your Desmos. So I'm not going to do everything on this part, right? You guys should be able to do this. So 3x squared minus 4x minus 15. So I have two solutions. One is negative 1.6, and then the other one is positive 3. So this one kind of easy, right? Which one has a positive 3 answer? Right? This one has positive 3, and this one is negative 1.67. So you can easily pick the one that has positive 3 as the solution, right? And then you can move on. I'm sure you guys can figure that out. All right, so number 7, so I just did number 6, right? Yeah, number 7 is given. All right, so for this one, if S represents the length of one h, the following formula may be used to determine the surface area of a cube. So the nearest tenth of a centimeter, what's the length of the edge of the cube with the surface area is 140. So the surface area is given to be 140, so all I have to do is 140 is going to be equal to 6. So I can't put S in Desmos, so I have to put it as x squared. So you want to see what would be to the nearest tenth of the centimeter, what's the length of that edge. So every time you're looking for an edge, which is the S, it has to be a positive number, right? So you got to go to where it intersects. It's 4.83, and that's what you guys have to pick. See, it's right here where it intersects. Okay, that will be the answer. Right, what are the solutions of the following questions? This is easy. All you have to do is just put it in the calculator. X squared plus 4x minus 12. All you have to do is find where it intersects. It's at negative 6, not positive 6, and at positive 2. And that's what you have to pick. Okay, number 9, this is systems of equation. So now I have two equations, which is, fine. Y equals x squared, right? X squared, no, I messed up. X squared, x squared minus 2x minus 1. I think the biggest thing with Desmos is making sure that you are putting the proper equation in. And then the second equation is negative x squared, right? Negative x squared. Oh, sorry, I forgot y equals to. Y equals to negative x squared plus 4x minus 1. All right, so now I got both of the systems of equation. So it says which set of order pair is the solution for the systems of equation. The system intersect at 0, negative 1, right? That's where they intersect, 0, negative 1. And then they intersect at 3 and 2. That's what you're going to solve. That's going to be your solution. 0, negative 1, and 3 and 2. So you can see that this is what I got, right? 0, negative 1, and 3 and 2. That's the next intersection. So this is, on the intersection if it's by itself. But when you have two systems of equation, you got to pick the one where the two of them intersects. Okay? So number 10 um, the same thing. You're going to come here and you're going to put in the equation, right? 2y equals x squared minus 6x minus 9. That's the first one. The second one is 2y equals negative x squared plus 2x plus 1, right? So that's my solution. So one solution is where the red and the black one intersect. I think if you want to change the color, you can change, but I don't know. I guess before you draw it, you can pick the color. All right, so this is the red and the black intersect, which is -1, -1. Yep, I see -1, right? Do you see -1, -1? Okay. And then the other one is 5 and -7. And that's all you have to do. Okay. The same thing. This is already graphed for you. So you have to look at where the two graphs intersect. What's this point? What would be the x and the y coordinates? Find 1 and +3, 3 and negative something, right? That's all you have to do. All right. All right. So this is another equation. It looks like a big word problem. So it says 2 rockets are launched at the same time, but for the different height. The height, which is h, is feet of one rocket after t seconds is given to this. So these are your equations. So you can't use h and x or t in this case, right? So my h, I'm going to make it as y. So I'm going to write it as y equals to -16 x, right? Because I can't pick t in Desmos, plus 100x. That's one equation. The second equation, so the question is the height of the other rocket is given. After how many seconds are the rockets at the same height? So where are they two going to intersect, right? That's what you need to do. They're going to be on the same height. So the next one will be y equals to 16 x squared plus 75x plus 50. So this is where you're gonna see where are they gonna be in the same height. So did I put negative? Oh, I didn't put -16. See this? That's another time. The biggest thing with this is you wanted to make sure you are writing the equation correctly. 100x, right? Y equals -16 x squared plus 75x plus 50. So now I'm gonna hide this so that I can see when is it gonna be. They're gonna be the same height. Oh, right here. So where's the two intersect? What is the coordinate of the x where the two intersect? Right? It's going to be at, like if I open it a little bit, I don't know if you can see it. Right? This is where they intersect. So what is that point? Well, this is where they intersect, which is 2. So x is going to be 2 seconds. So you have to pick the 2 one. Because they don't intersect any other place. Yeah. They go parallel until they get to that point. All right, number 13 is more of, I think, in unit 1 where we learned this. It says each statement describes a transformation of y equals x squared. So what I'm going to do is just draw you guys what is y equals x squared looks like, right? This is what it looks like. Now I put -5 inside my parentheses. What does it do? Does it go left 5 and down 5? To determine, just put the equation in as it is, right? Y equals to, so remember, this is your original graph. What happened when you put x minus minus 5 inside the parentheses and square it. So 1 to the right, how many points? 5 points. And then you added 6 next to it without putting it in the parentheses. You add 6. What happened? You took it up. So right and up. So down, no. Did nothing. Down, no. Up, how many units? 6 unit up, and then 5 unit to the right. Yep, that's what happened. That's what you're gonna pick. Okay. All right. So this is the one that Mr. K was showing you guys. So it says Larry made a scatter plot to showing the apparent height of a football at 1 second interval during the time period the ball was in the air, which is most likely the equation of the curve. All you do is put it in. So which graph is going to be? So definitely it's going to be a negative curve because it's going down. So I'm going to definitely delete C and D because that's the positive curve. So I'm going to try, okay, is it negative 0.4 x? Oh, I forgot to put y in front of it. So is it y equals negative 0.4 x? Oh, this is even a straight line. So I know that's not going to be because this is going to give me a straight line. So it has to be a quadratic. So so I know that's not, because that's going to give me a line, right? Plus 9. I'll just do it for you. Plus 9. That's what the graph looks like. But if I take D, we'll say y equals negative 0.9 x squared, right? Plus 5.3 3x plus 4.9. Okay, so looking at the graph, this is what the graph looks like, and what you have here is going to be like this. And if you make it, I guess, bigger, you can kind of see how it's, a little bit similar to what we have, right? So the highest it went is like 12 something, right? That's what we have here. And it crosses like that. So you got to pick D. Because if you pick A, A is also a straight line. C is going to go like this, up. C would be going up like this. So the only option you have is D. All right, so this is kind of similar, right? It says, at a city began reporting its air pollution index in 1980. The scattered plot shows the index related to the various number of the years since 1980. So it's asking you what happened if no steps are taken to control city air pollution, which the best estimate of the population the pollution next in 2005. So in 2020 it was 400, right? So you can see that it is increasing. So is it increasing? So 15, 20, and this would be 30, right? 20, 30. But this is going to be 2005, right? Oh, years since 1980. 5, 10. Okay, so this is 1990. This is 2200. No, this is 2200. It's not 20. This is 2000. Yeah, rate 2000 is 400. So 205 is what I'm looking for. So let's say 2020 will be right here. If it's jumping high, so it has to be between 400 and 500. So I know it's not going to be this two, right? So is it going to be 425 or 475? So since it's a low margin between the two, I will go to 425. because 500 is going to be somewhere here. So I'm guessing it's going up like this, you know. So I'll see 425. All right, number 16, you got to put this in a calculator to find, and I'm sure Mr. K showed you. All you do is plus in the table, and then put X would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the Y coordinate is 66. Enter 72. Enter 82. Enter 90. Enter, and then 100 and 106. That is the table, right? And then I can see the graph here. Well, oh, I have to make it smaller. So this is what it looks like, right? The graph. So assuming that the trend continue with, it says assuming the trend continuous, which is the best prediction for the number of students that will be enrolled during the 12 years of the program. So I only have 6-year program, right? So I have to create an equation. So you got to put Y tilde, right? Which is on top of your tab. And then you have to do AX1 plus, no, AX1 squared, right? Because it's going to be a parabola. Square plus BX plus C. Sorry guys, I forgot to put y1 squared, y1 tilde ax squared plus bx1 plus c. So that would give me the equation where a is 0, b is 8.3426, and c is 56. So it's kind of a linear equation. It looks like it because if a is, so now I want to know what happened in 12 years, right? So I have to go to x when x equals to 12. X equals to 12. 12. So what happened to the graph? So when x is equals to 12, you see it's going to be 156.94. So which can be rounded to 157. Okay, so that's what 12 years. If it says 13 years, I'll put 13 here. Or if it says 20 years, I'll put 20 here. Okay? So just remember, when you put y1 tilde ax1 squared plus bx1 plus c, because earlier I didn't put the sub number and it didn't give me. So the same thing with this one, you just put the table in. 91, 90, 90, 90, 91, and then do the table for x, put it this way, y, put it this way, and then you'll be able to find it. Okay. All right, number 18, use the graphing calculator, which equation below represent the graph best fit. So this is what they had given me, right? I knew this is a negative graph, right? Because this goes down. So I'm gonna take this 2 away. And then it's an x squared. So they both, so all you have to do is just come here and then put the equation in and see which one matches. Okay, so put 0.34, negative 0.34x squared plus 0.7 doesn't match this. If not, then you go to the next one. All right, so the same thing with this one. What's the solution set of the given systems of equation? I don't want it to pass 30 minutes. Graph both and see where the two intersect. The same thing here, graph both and see where it intersects. So this is kind of a review of for your test. So be familiar with your Desmos and ask questions. We'll see. We will have your test on Friday, I think January 8th. Is when you guys going to be taking your test. All right, hopefully this was helpful. Thank you. Bye.